Hey Gwenters, and welcome back for another episode of Gone Gwenting. This is going to be the last and final video in our beginner series. Just to recap, our first video was on basic game interface, what to click, how to play with a friend, where to build a deck, where to play a game. Then we went into each of the decks. We talked a little bit about the specific cards. I gave you some details on what some of the language means on those cards. And we started with monsters, then we did Northern Realms, then we did Scoia'tael, then we did Nilfgaard, I forgot about Skellige, and then we did Skellige at the end. So that was a good round out of those 5 starter decks. Now, we have not done anything on Syndicate. If you have questions about that, let me know, but we're going to get into Syndicate in a later intermediate course where we go into building decks from scratch, getting more advanced kegs, looking for special cards, saving up shards and spending them on certain specific cards to build certain decks. But for now, just worry about getting, like we covered in our last couple of videos, use those reward points, get the kegs, and then focus some of those scraps on the first few cards that'll be helpful to you. I think Roach and Portal are those first 2 that I would recommend personally. And then as you go on, we're going to develop some more specific cards in the intermediate decks. But for right now, I think you have a good sense of what you need to win your first few ranks in Gwent, getting you a bunch of rewards, getting you some good experience, and allowing you to play in some of the other modes that we're going to cover in our intermediate phase as well. Those will namely be Arena and the Seasonal mode. But for right now, I want to go over in this last video 5 things not to do as a beginner. Okay, so something to pay attention to are on each of these things they're mostly going to be things you're going to miss out on if you do something improperly, right? So we're going to be focusing on spending your time and resources in the right places at the right time, right? So number 1 thing I'm going to recommend is do not let the journey stories go to waste. Okay, so these are going to be your basic rewards are always going to be in this social panel over here on the left side. So you guys are all going to start out on this week 1 of 6 if you've just started the game. You're only going to get access to this top one unless you pay the $10 for the premium. But each of these 20 halves of crowns are the equivalent to winning 20 rounds in each game. Again, each game has 3 rounds in it. If you win 2, you win the game, right? So every time you win 1 crown, that is going to help build your journey story here, and it's going to get you these rewards. You just saw right there, I had won a game. Because I bought the premium, I get the bottom row, which gave me this free illustrated version of Piercing Missile. But I also, everyone will get these top rewards. I covered those before, but this is a great way to get keys. Do not miss out on these. Make sure to pay attention to what your current achievement is. So here you just have to finish 1 match, then you're going to progress through and do, if you can boost units with vitality 15 times, then boost 20 units, and etc. If you can do each of those, you're going to get 20 crowns each time, and every 24 crowns you're going to progress 1 level. And then the second thing I'd pair with this is make sure to go to your journey story and it will automatically claim those rewards. You just have to go here in order to get those rewards. So I think this is a good way for you to stack rewards and get some of those card cakes, and build out new decks, right? So make sure, pay attention to journey story. That's the first recommendation. Number 2, do not miss out on your daily events, okay? So this is also in this social panel. So again, all of these first 2 things are things you can do just from right here. Right, so I want you to click on this quests button. That is going to show you your daily quests at the very top. You can have up to 3 of those. Now, if you have gone a few days without playing, these will be all filled out. That's fine. That happens to me all the time, you know? Sometimes life gets busy. This is one of the things I like about Gwent compared to other games. There's no requirement that you log on every day. That said, if you can spend 10 seconds and just log in, each day you're going to get a new thing every 7 days. And that's going to include card kegs, scraps, keys, 1 regular card, as well as a premium card, which are those animated cards, which we love so much. So just something to pay attention with there. If you can spend a minute to log in every day, but that's not making my top 5 because life gets busy, you know? So, but one thing you should pay attention to are these 3 daily quests. Do not let these go to waste. You want to fill these up with new ones. You can get 2 keys, like you can see right here, just by playing 60 special cards. Some of the other ones will be win 5 rounds or play 5 games, play 60 cards. I mean, they're pretty basic. If it's something that looks a little difficult to you, say you've built up a Nilfgaard deck and it says win 3 rounds with monsters, just press this recycle button here and it is going to change it out. Now, I don't want to do that right now because I have one that I like. This is going to get me a 2 key reward and I can play 60 special cards in the next 3 days, okay? That's not going to be super hard for me. So pay attention to those. Do not miss out on that. So for those of you also interested, below here is going to be your tracked contracts. This isn't making this video. I think this is more of an intermediate thing to focus on, and it goes well along with my other playlist on contract videos. But for right now, let's just ignore that. So first 2 things, don't miss out on your journeys. Don't ignore journey stuff. Make sure to click on that, check what you're working on next, and then just click on the journey card to get these rewards, okay? Don't miss out on those. It's free. It's free stuff. It's free cards. Don't miss out on free cards. That is what makes this game so much fun, okay? So then I think the third thing I'm going to say to you guys is do not ignore your progress on your ranked matches, okay? You can see right now I'm rank 3. This has taken a lot of work to get up here. You're going to notice your first few games, you're going to progress pretty quickly. If you can win 3 in a row, it's just going to knock them out, and you're going to keep progressing in rank. You're going to think it's a piece of cake, and you might try trying out new decks that you haven't really tried out. Make sure to pay attention to how many of the spaces are filled out on this, okay? So the reason why that is important is because this is how many games on net you need to win in a row in order to progress to the next ranking and complete this mosaic. That is going to give you one of these avatars here. Each of these stained glass avatars, they are ones that I've earned from playing and winning these contracts. So those take some work to get those, but more importantly, they push you up in ranking, give you a better chance at getting into pro once you get to 0. Now, if you don't care at all, go ahead and ignore it, but it doesn't hurt you at all to just change it to an unranked match or do training in order to get that progress. So make sure to pay attention to that. Don't try out a new deck without being really thoughtful about it, okay? So that is going to get you want to get, if you already have 1 on there, be thoughtful. Now, if you've lost a game and you have 0 on here, it will not force you back into the next one. So you can go ahead and just play as many games as you want with new decks, try out, tweak stuff. That's a great time to continue trying ranked matches against difficult people who have roughly equal decks to yours, okay? And then for those of you who are wondering, I was talking about cards last time. This right-hand bar is showing how many cards you have out of all the decks. So pay attention to this as you get into the later game. That's going to help you know what you need to do to finish it out. You see right here, I love Scoia'tael. I love Scoia'tael, right? So I only have 10 more cards to finish that out. This also shows how many games you have won with each of these decks. You can see Scoia'tael and Syndicate are 2 of my favorites. Nilfgaard I played for a while, especially it was meta, and it was the meta for a while, especially in my achievable ranking, okay? So that's what that is, just something to pay attention to. So something else I want to, so those are my first 3. Running back through, journey story, don't miss it. Don't mess up on your daily contracts. Make sure you're paying attention to your ranking. Then next, related to ranking, make sure you are playing the right game mode, right? Okay, so if you want to move up in your ranking, you have a deck that you're winning at, make sure this button right here, unranked match, is not clicked. You're just kind of throwing those away. You could be getting progress by playing these classic matches. Make sure you're not playing training matches if you want to play against competitive individuals and move up in your ranking. And then seasonal is not going to count towards your ranking. It is also going to include more complex rules. They do this for more seasoned players, especially so that we have something to try out, something new that we can do. It's a ton of fun, and I'm going to cover this in my intermediate video series. That way you guys can get some more some more enjoyment out of certain cards that are maybe less used in the classic mode. They pair really well with some of these seasonals. This one right now in Season of the Viper is a lot of fun, and you can do a lot of really crazy things with it, especially if you have Thirsty Dame. She's straight up broken right now. They're actually going to try to fix that. So broken good. So anyway, so that's some coverage right there. Just make sure to pay attention to those things, okay? The next thing I would say related to ranking, so those are first four, and I think the last thing that I'm going to say is pay attention to what's going on in the game, okay? So we're actually going to slide over here onto Gwent's website, if I can get this to go. And on their website, you're going to notice they have a news section here. Just going to pull that up, and you can see by sliding down what is going on in the game, right? So there's this hotfix that I just talked about. They fixed it at another level again, and then they're going to be doing another hotfix here soon for Thirsty Dame in Seasonal. But a lot of the broken graphics, if you've been playing lately, you'll know that those are going on. They have fixed a lot of those. When you're supposed to summon a card that was taking forever for it to play down, they have fixed that. One of the dangers of making a game more beautiful is you sometimes have those bugs. But make sure you pay attention to these seasonals. You'll see that right here. Season of the Viper is here. This happened on May 5th, 2020. And then those seasonals are going to go until a specified time. Here we see this season will last until June 2nd. And then CEST is Central European Summertime. So this is the time in Poland where the developers are based out of. So just pay attention to those times. When that happens, your ranking will be reset. Depending on where you are, it's going to push you back a few rankings. So make sure if you are close to moving up a rank by June 1st or May 31st, play a few more games and push yourself up into the next ranking. You will fall. You won't fall quite as far, and it'll make it easier to make up your ground. The further you are up in rankings, the better rewards you're going to get. So just keep that in mind. I think it's well worth it. Also, there are some seasonal rewards that you can get every time, and you don't want to miss out on those. So just know that you are playing under this time constraint. Usually they go for a little over a month. This last season, Season of the Viper was pushed back because of COVID, and so I think this is a shorter season than normal. Something to keep in mind. Also, there usually are card changes, leadership ability tweaks that happen at the end of every season. Keeps the game more fresh, makes it so more cards are still playable, but that will upset your gameplay. It will upset your decks. It will upset your synergy. So make sure to pay attention to those dates, because those are going to help. Those are going to change how you are playing the game, which for me makes Gwent so much fun, keeps it more relevant, makes it so it's more fresh, not as stale, but it will kind of warp your gameplay a little bit. So something to just keep track of. So again, those are my 5 points. Again, running through those really quickly. Don't miss out on journey rewards. Don't forget about your daily rewards. Make sure that you are playing in the right game mode, and make sure you're not and then make sure you're not missing out on your ranking, that you're not wasting it, and then finally making sure that you are paying attention to those dates for when the seasonals are. That will make a big difference to you. If you pay attention to those things, I promise you will get better rewards. You'll be more focused as a player. You'll have a lot more fun, and you will have much better interaction and enjoyment with your friends that are playing the game and with the community online. So with those notes, this wraps up your beginner's introduction to Gwent. Unless anybody has any other suggestions or they found something confusing they'd like to add to this video series, this completes it. You've done it. Get out there, go Gwenting, and conquer this game.